So adding and subtracting decimals. What is the number one most important thing to remember when you're adding and subtracting decimals, when you're setting up the problem? To line up the decimals. That is the most important thing today to remember. Line up the decimals. And again, this is for adding and subtracting. This is not for multiplying. This is not for dividing. Only for adding and subtracting. So we're going to start off by doing a couple addition problems together, and then we'll do some subtraction problems together, and then you can have the rest of the time to do your assignment. So let's start off by doing the problem 8.79 plus 4.6. So some people do not line up the decimals when they have an uneven amount of numbers here, like a different amount of numbers. And what happens is you add numbers that are in different place values. Okay, and if you add numbers that are in different place values, then you get wrong answers. So when you set up the problem, make sure that you line up the decimals. So it's going to look like this. Notice how the 4.6 is scooted over so that the 6 is underneath the 7, because the 6 and the 7 are both in the tenths place, and the 4 and the 8 are in the ones place. Now, some people like, instead of having this empty space here, they like putting in a 0. And it doesn't change the value, and it helps you keep things in line. So addition, I think, is a little bit easier than subtraction, but it's a good habit to get into, to just fill in empty spaces with 0. Now, once you've done that, now it's just like adding, okay? Normal adding. So 9, 13, carry your 1. That would be 12 plus 1, 13. And then this decimal just goes straight down. And there's your answer, 13.39. Okay? So I'm going to give you one of these to do. I'd like for you to do 14.8 plus 29.07. Again, if you will please do that one in your notes. Alright, so hopefully the first thing that you did when you wrote this problem in your notes is you set up the problem like this. So the 1 is above the 2, the 4 is above the 9, and the 8 is above the 0. There is nothing right now above the 7, so that is where you can place in a 0 if you choose. You don't have to have it there, but it does help you keep everything in line. Alright? So 0 plus 7, 8 plus 0. Bring that decimal straight down. You don't want to forget that. That would be 13 and 4. So 43.87. Raise your hand if you got that right. 43.87. Okay. One more. Let's see if I can trick anyone with this one. Let's do 9 plus 2.638. 9 plus 2.638. We don't need to shout anything out. Alright, let's talk about what you did with this problem. Now, we talked about lining up the decimals, but I don't see a decimal in the number 9. Where is the decimal in the number 9? Luke? Right behind the 9, yes. So when I line up the decimals, that 638 is hanging out there by itself. Okay? The 9 and the 2 need to be lined up because they're both in the ones place. Thank you. So I'm going to fill in these empty spots with zeros. And now I'm going to add. And I end up with 11.638. 11.638. Okay? Now, subtracting is the same steps, except subtracting is a little bit more difficult than adding, always, especially when you have to borrow. So we're going to practice a few of those, and then you'll have the rest of the time to work. Okay? So again, we're going to try subtracting now. Let's say you have 8.7 minus 2.03. Do we still need to line up our decimals? Yes. So let's line up the decimals. And I'll tell you a common mistake that people make. A common mistake that people make is they line up their decimals, they see nothing over here, and then a 3. And they say, oh, that must just be 3. You can't say nothing minus 3 is 3. Because really right here is a 0, remember? That's why those placeholders help you. So 0 minus 3, well, it's negative 3. You can do it, right? Negative 3, but we don't want to do that. We want to borrow. Yes, we want to borrow from this 7. So now we can subtract, and we get 6.67. All right, so be careful on those. Let's do another one. How about you do 23.5 minus 18.079. 23.5 minus 18.079. Alright, so when we set this up, 23.5, 18.079. So on this one, I have two numbers over there by themselves. So I need to put 2 zeros up here. So did you do that? When you borrow, you have to borrow all the way over from this 5, making it a 4, which makes this a 10. And then we borrow from a 10, making it a 9. So this becomes a 10. So we have 10 minus 9, 9 minus 7, 4 minus 0. Bring down your decimal. 3 minus 8 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow. 13 minus 8 is 5. And then 1 minus 1 would be 0. You can put the 0 out here, but you don't have to have it. So 5.421. Alright, do we feel like we're good? I know this was review. Alright, so I'm going to stop here.